my brother. Welcome back, 94 Feet Nation. What's good? What's good? It's your boy Dre.
It's your boy Key.
Here holding it down today for our absent brother Zeke. Zeke is out today.
Get well soon.
Get well soon. Sending you all the best, my brother. Sending you all the best. Keith, welcome back, man. It's been a crazy 2 weeks, man. How you feeling?
Man, it's been crazy, but it's good to be back.
It's good to be back. It's good to see you back, man. Now, you were a listener or a fan, I should say, when you were away, man. What did you think about the episodes when you were gone, man?
It's horrible I was there. What you think, man? You thought I was going to say it was good?
So you weren't a fan of the Death Fresh podcast episode?
No, it was good, man. I ain't like that. It was good, man. I appreciate our special guest coming in and standing in for the boy while he was out.
Yeah, shout out to the Death Fresh podcast on the TDR network. Also, Kilo came in last week, and In These Streets, I think is the name of their podcast. He was here last week holding it down. So, we're happy to have you back, man.
Man, it feels good to be back.
You know what I'm saying? Let's just, this is an NBA podcast, but everybody in Milwaukee know that we also ride with the Packers.
Oh, man. We had to do it, right?
We had to, man.
Man,
we had to,
why?
man.
Just let it go.
We can't let it go.
We got enough slander coming for the next 7 days.
Well, I told Isaiah, I told Zeke, bro, you get it one time, right? We only did it one time when the Cowboys lost. But of all years that it should have been done, man, Green Bay dropped the ball. Literally, man. It should have gotten done this year. But at least we still got the Bucks, right?
At least we still got
the Bucks. We still got the Bucks.
And they got 2 wins in a row.
You know what I'm saying? At least the Bucks gonna take us back there. But let's dive right in, y'all. We got a fun episode for you and an informative one. The injury bug in the NBA is going crazy once again. So this is going to be a nice long injury update. Other than COVID, these are some other things going on. The Atlanta Hawks are without Daniel Gallinari. He is listed as day-to-day with an Achilles injury. Kevin Huter, probably butchered that, but that's okay. He is listed as day-to-day with a hip injury. And Bogdan is out indefinitely with a knee injury as well. Over at the Boston Celtics. Go ahead, Keith.
We have PJ Dozier out. And was it Bola? Bola? Mm-hmm. Is that how you say it?
Yep.
He is out for
indefinitely.
That's a lot of players out indefinitely. Like they don't have no timeline of when they is planning on them coming back for either one of them.
Yeah. Well, he just got traded over to Boston, so I can see why he's out. Dozier's out with a knee injury. So the Brooklyn Nets are without Joe Harris, ankle injury, Nick Claxton, hamstring injury, Paul Millsap. It's personal, and a lot of that is because he's being traded. So those 3 players are out indefinitely as well. Over in the Charlotte Hornets, we got Jalen McDaniels is listed as out. Chicago Bulls, go ahead.
Chicago Bulls has Zach LaVine out with a knee injury. Javonte Green is out with the groin. Alex Caruso is out to undergo. Oh, he's having surgery.
Oh, yeah. We're going to talk about that.
Oh.
Courtesy of our own Grayson Allen.
And Lonzo Ball is out with a knee. Oh, he's getting ready to have surgery.
He's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks.
Damn, these are some major injuries.
These are some major injuries over in Cleveland land.
We still got Derrick Jones Jr. Oh,
yeah, but they've been out, though.
He's been out.
Yeah. You good. Over in Cleveland land, Rajon Rondo is out with a hamstring injury with no timetable for his return. Dallas Mavericks are without Sterling Brown and Frank Ntilikina. Both are out. Ntilikina is in COVID protocol, and Sterling Brown is out with a foot injury. Denver Nuggets. Go ahead, Keith.
You said who was out to COVID protocol?
It is Frank
Ntilikina.
Ntilikina? Is that what it is?
Yeah. It says non-COVID.
Non-COVID. Thank you. Non-COVID. And Brown is out with a foot injury. So Denver Nuggets.
Will Barton is out. Probably out for Sunday's game against the Pistons, right hamstring. We got Marcus Howard out. I don't even know who that is, man.
Marcus Howard used to play for Marquette.
Is that him?
Yeah, he used to play for Marquette. Yeah.
And there's some people
Marcus,
like
who? You got to go to your favorite line.
I was just gonna say Marcus who? 'Cause I didn't even know he was even in the league yet right now.
He is day to day as well. Jeff Green is day to day. Go ahead.
Jermichael Green is out, and Jamal Murray, dude, he's been out for over a year now, right?
He's been over a year.
He got hurt like what last year?
He did, but this time he's in health and safety protocol. So
Okay.
I mean, I'm not sure why they felt.
Knee,
Yeah, but I'm not sure why they felt the need to add that because we've already knew he was out already. But I guess now because he's in protocol. So
Detroit Pistons have Frank Jackson out. Frank who? Kelly Olynyk is out. Kelly who? Keelan Hayes. Keelan who? Luca Garza. Luca who? And Jeremy Grant.
Listen, we already know what the issue is with John Wall. A lot of injuries throughout the NBA. If we went through this entire list, we will be talking the entire podcast about injuries. But let's just look at some of the major ones, right? You look at the Timberwolves. They are without Pat Beverly. The Heat are without Tucker, PJ Tucker. They're without Markieff Morris. They're without Kyle Lowry. They're without Tyler Hero. Memphis, they're without Steve Adams, Brandon Clark, Kyle Anderson, right? The Bucks, Grayson Allen, Giannis, Wes Matthews. Timberwolves, we already talked about. The Pelicans are without Ingram, right? A lot is going on. The Knicks are without Kemba Walker. They're without Mitchell Robinson. All these injuries are just piling up. The Sixers are without Steph Curry, Danny Green. The Suns are without Jake Crowder, Ayton. They're also without Kaminsky. They're without Cameron Payne. That's like their whole starting lineup almost, right? Portland is without Norman Powell. They're without Larry Nance. Sac is without Darian Fox. You know what I mean? It's like who's left playing in the NBA, man? What do you make of all these injuries, bro? What is going on in the world of the National Basketball Association?
I mean, it's a lot of wear and tear on the athletes. There's not a lot of great backups anymore like it used to be.
No, you're right about that.
There's not no dependable backup. So your stars are playing way too many minutes, and as you can see, when they play too many minutes, this is what happened. There's only one person who was able to dodge that bullet for most of their careers, and that was LeBron James.
Yep, and he's starting to feel it a little more.
And now he's starting to feel it where he's on day to day, almost every other day.
Absolutely. So let's move into shoot around. So Grayson Allen had a dirty play against Alex Caruso during the Bucks versus Bulls victory Friday night. Many are calling it a dirty play. Caruso suffered a broken wrist, and he's going to be out 6 to 8 weeks. And many are pushing for Commissioner Adam Silver to hand out a serious fine and punishment for Grayson Allen. So a lot of people for years have called Grayson Allen a dirty player. What type of punishment fits the crime? And is Grayson Allen a dirty player? Keith, what up, bro? What's up with Gray Allen, bro?
I really don't know Grayson like that, man. I don't think I've never seen him as a dirty player.
Most of his professional reputation, he's been known as a dirty player.
What makes you a dirty player nowadays, though? You know what I mean?
You know, did you see the play? Did you see the play that he did to Caruso? Yep. Did you see it? He literally grabbed him and dang near just slammed him to the ground by grabbing his hands the way he did. So even in college, I'll say this. I was never really a Grayson Allen fan until he became a Bucks player. He is the player that everyone hated, but he's also the dog or the bully that you want on your team. One of the things that I noticed about the play, because I was watching the game, is the Bulls don't have a dog or a big man to help fight their battles. Because when that happened, not one player from the Bulls reacted aggressively. Not one player from the Bulls got in Grayson Allen's grill. Not one player from the Bulls tried to stand up for Alex Caruso based on that dirty play that Grayson Allen did. So my question is, was the play dirty? Absolutely.
I don't think it was dirty. I think it was a hard foul. It was a
What?
hard foul. Have you watched it over again?
I watched it several
Did you
times.
watch it in slow motion?
He grabbed him by the wrist, bro. Come on,
It
man.
wasn't. But see, you got to remember when you're an athlete, these athletes' hands are huge.
Right. Right.
So, like, if he reaching, grabbing for the ball, and he grabbed his wrist, it's not intentional majority of the time. If you're an athlete, you know that. And by him,
Wait. You said I'm not an athlete?
I ain't trying to throw shade at you, but hey, a spade is a spade.
Hey, man, I have you know I was a really, really cool high school wrestler about 20 years ago.
Yeah. So, Andre, who?
But no, back to Grayson not being a dirty play.
It's a hard foul. I don't think his intentions was to fracture the man's wrist. It was to stop the play. Like that's what they tell you. Like give a
but
hard
you go
foul.
for the ball. Why not go for the ball
He
though?
was going for the ball. If you look at the play, he was going for the ball. 90% of the time, when a player is momentum is like Caruso's was at the moment, it throws off your balance, and that's what causes the injury. Players don't intentionally grab to say, I'm going to hurt him this play. It was just a hard foul, and I'm trying to stop the ball. But at the same time, his momentum was going so much in one direction, and then he get pulled in another direction. It causes a hard foul.
So what type of punishment fits this crime? What type of punishment? Because now the Bulls are without one of their starters. They're without one of their best players for the next 6 to 8 weeks. They were, I believe, top 3 in the Eastern Conference, maybe even number 1. You have to fact check me on that. But they were at the top of the conference. And truly, he was a pivotal piece of that offense and the defense over the Chicago Bulls. So 2-part question. What does this mean for the Chicago Bulls and their run in the Eastern Conference? And what type of punishment fits the crime?
I mean, well, he was a flagrant foul in the game, right?
It was a flagrant foul. He was ejected from the game, but the league has yet to comment as of this podcast on a punishment or fines for.
I don't think it's a punishment or fine. It was a flagrant.
You don't?
It was a flagrant foul.
Yeah, you don't think it was a punishment
Dude,
or a
do you
crime?
know how many flagrant fouls there are in the league?
I do. I watch basketball often.
I'm just saying,
and most of them get some type of punishment after.
Not all of them.
I didn't say all, but most get some type of punishment
You
after.
might get a 1-game suspension.
So you don't think any more is warranted than that?
Maybe a 1-game suspension.
Wow. So you're giving him a pass?
No, I'm not giving him a pass because you think it's that 1-day suspension. That's a 1 day without pay. Yeah. How much do you think he's making that 1 day?
Probably a good amount.
Think about how much he's going to miss out on in that 1 day.
So you don't think it was a dirty play?
I don't think it was a dirty play. I think it was a hard foul. Did he hurt him? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
But was it intentional? I don't think so. Looking at the play over and over again.
Okay, so Chicago's second in the Eastern Conference. What does the loss to Caruso do to that Chicago Bulls team?
I mean, Caruso is good, man. But I mean, come on, man. He ain't no DeRozan.
Listen, I'm gonna say this. I'm glad Grayson Allen plays for the Bucks. Do I think it was a dirty play? I think his intention was not to hurt him, but I think there's a safer way to stop a foul. There's a safer way. You went right for the man's wrist. There's a safer way to do it. Silver can't let it slide because, again, you cannot be known as a league that allows other players to injure other players, whether that be your intention or not. So I think a good 3 to 5 game suspension is warranted. Again, don't want it because he's on our team. But Adam Silver has to send a message that when you go for your hard fouls, do your hard fouls with some tact. Okay? Draymond does it with tact, right?
But that's what I'm saying. Like, think how many other players give out hard fouls.
With tact, though. Like, I've seen Draymond hard foul LeBron and pick him back up after, right? You know, but when you're aiming for a person's wrist, there are some that think there are some ill intent there. So, but again, so Grayson Allen has always had the reputation of a dirty player. People hated him in college. Most Bucks fans hated him until he got to the Bucks.
A lot of times you do hate everybody that you play against. I mean, come on now. Don't act like this is the first rodeo. Or somebody been hated because they didn't play for the Bucks.
A few reports suggest that the Los Angeles Lakers coach Frank Vogel's job is in serious jeopardy. Some reports have stated that he was almost fired after the 37-point loss to the Denver Nuggets just last week. Is it time for the Los Angeles Lakers to move on from Coach Vogel?
Oh man,
And listen, we haven't had a good Laker talk with the man at the table in weeks, so brace yourself.
it's time for some change in LA. And I'm gonna say it just like that. Somebody gotta go.
So let's focus on the coach right now because we've already talked
But
about.
I'm saying though, like you gotta think about it. Like LeBron, none of the players can go. You done got rid of players. You done got rid of this. You done got rid of that. Who you gonna blame it on now?
So how is it that just 2 short years ago, although in the bubble, Vogel led them to a championship, right? Just last
And I still didn't
season.
like Vogel.
Last season, he led them to the play-in tournament. They were a playoff team or playoff-bound team, and now all of a sudden, he's the person we should be blaming. He's the scapegoat of what's going on in Los Angeles. Now, mind you, I've said all season that the Los Angeles Lakers needed the coaching change. I never thought Vogel was a good coach. I thought he was a lucky coach because I've said it before. Me and you can coach LeBron, Westbrook, Carmelo, and AD in a game.
Oh yeah.
We might not can't draw up any plays, but we can sub you in and out, which ultimately is what Frank Vogel's doing. I don't like that the NBA makes their coaches the examples when they really need to be making examples out of the players on the Lakers. The Lakers need a roster overhaul. Vogel's not out there taking threes. He's not out there taking 50 shots. He's not out there averaging 10 turnovers. Hold up. He's not out there taking shots when you should pass the ball, Westbrook. However, we all know that it takes a special type of coach to coach superstars. And I don't think Frank Vogel is that guy. You already know how I feel about the bubble championship. Yes, it's a championship, but it's an asterisk. If the NBA did asterisk, that would be an asterisk.
I agree.
It would be an asterisk.
He was lucky.
He was lucky. But the fact that they're trying to make him the scapegoat of the Los Angeles Lakers problems is wrong, is bogus, and he is not the problem in LA. If the Lakers are going to move on from Frank Vogel, then you need to do a full roster overhaul.
No, you
need to start with the GM.
No, you do not.
Okay, fine. Go ahead. So go ahead.
Because I'm gonna tell you like this. This is what it boils down to when you're a coach. The coach is the person who balances minutes, attitudes, and the type of rotation you're gonna have with your players.
Mm-hmm.
If those three things aren't done correctly by the coach, you can't win.
Mm-hmm.
You got to put your players in position to be successful. And clearly he's not doing that because if you're relying on Westbrook to bring the ball up every time and get your offense going, guess what? You're going to lose games.
Mm-hmm.
He's not the type of player who gets your offense going.
Mm-hmm.
You got to get the ball out of his hands. That's the problem. The ball is in his hands too much to make too many decisions when it should be in LeBron's hands or someone else who's capable of getting other players involved.
What other coach has been able to get Westbrook to see that, though?
And you know what? That's true, but what makes you think Vogel is the one who's going to make him do it?
So my point
is... That's the problem right there. Like, if he has to figure out a balance. And that's what the Lakers' problem is all season. They haven't found a balance or like a key rotation. Everything's just so dysfunctional about their rotation. They look bad even when they make their rotations in. Because you be like, dang, well, he didn't even get in tonight. Because there's some games where Monk don't even play. Then there's games he play and he puts up 26 and he has like 5 highlight plays and the Lakers are winning. So, like, I'm blaming Vogel more than anybody right now. I'm tired of blaming the players because the coach is making the subs. The coach can determine like who need to sit down for a minute. And the coach is the one who needed to determine that. Just like the other night, he didn't put Russell Westbrook in at the end of the game. He finally made that decision, but they still lost. So his decision making is what's causing them to lose.
So you think the Lakers should move on?
It's time to move on. They should have moved on when they first got LeBron in LA, if you ask me.
Well, didn't he come in after?
I'm saying, like, when he first came there, I didn't think he was the coach for them.
Sure. They were actually going after Ty Lue.
He just got lucky on the Lakers were on a hot streak at the time.
Mm,
with Anthony Davis and LeBron. I mean,
mm,
if you got both of them healthy and they on a
mm.
hot streak, of course they're gonna beat people.
So you're putting Vogel in the hot seat. I'm not. I still don't think he's the right coach for them, but I don't think he's the reason for their terrible play. Do you agree with the decision for him to bench Russell Westbrook in the fourth quarter and not let him play?
It's called experimenting. See what happens. You got all these people questioning Westbrook. Put him on the side for a minute and see what happens. And look what happened.
He lost by a lot.
Lost by a lot, but they would
Mhm.
have lost by a lot regardless if he was in there or not. So clearly, somebody ain't making the right choices out there,
Right. Right.
and you can't blame it all on the players.
Right.
It's the coach got to set up the X's and O's to what you should be doing.
Mm-hmm.
And if you ain't got your players running what you supposed to want them to run, then guess what? That's on you.
Mm-hmm.
You got to demand that respect in your locker room.
Mm-hmm. Okay. The NBA trade deadline is a few weeks away, February 10th, less than 2 weeks, 3 weeks. And there hasn't been much noise of big names besides the regulars. You hear about Westbrook, Ben Simmons, Tobias Harris, John Wall, Horford, and a few others. Which team needs to make a move before that deadline or by that deadline? Who is in a we must do something now phase?
They have to do it now.
Who's
the Lakers have to.
Oh, the Lakers. So
They
you
got-
think the attention needs to be on the Lakers? They
The
need
Lakers
to make some trades.
out of all the teams in the league right now, the Lakers have to make the biggest decisions right now because somebody got to go. It's either Davis or Westbrook.
Mm.
You got to. It's time for the Lakers to make a choice because obviously Davis ain't performed the way he's supposed to perform this year, and Westbrook ain't performed the way he's supposed to be performing this year.
Mm-hmm.
Like you guys got enough players to be more than a 500 team. This is what a team of 3 or 4 sophomores in the league that can put together.
Mm-hmm.
That's really good.
Mm-hmm.
You're talking about 5 veterans,
Mm-hmm.
and 4 of them is future Hall of Famers. And y'all can't be over 500.
Mm-hmm.
Something got to change. Something got to shake, including the coach.
Mm-hmm. So another report came out. You know, we're talking about trades. They said that the Sixers turned down yet another trade for Ben Simmons, this time with the Detroit Pistons. The Pistons offered Grant, Olynyk, Bay, and a first-round draft pick, all for Ben Simmons. And the 76ers turned it down.
I would too, because you can't name one player that they offered up that was worth anything.
What is it that y'all want for Ben Simmons? Like, I've seen teams offer like 5 and 6 players.
But at the end of the day, Ben Simmons is a 5-star athlete, man. I mean, you can't keep throwing who the hell is Jeremy Grant to Ben Simmons? But just think about that. That's who the trade is based around. Jeremy Grant for Ben Simmons. Does that make sense to you? Think about it.
No, of course not. Of course not. But I don't think the ideal trade that Philly wants, I don't think it exists.
I don't think the ideal
I don't
trade
think
that,
it exists.
I don't think the ideal trade that any of the teams are looking for right now exists.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Pistons and the Lakers. The Lakers are looking for too much to get what they want back.
Mm-hmm.
Even because it was reported that the Lakers were going after Jeremy Grant too.
Mm-hmm.
But the Pistons want Talon Tucker Horton, but they don't want to part ways with him. I'm like, dude, Tucker is not that good.
Not that good to just be one to hold on to.
You can't hold on to him forever.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's a decent role player, but as far as more than that, I don't see him as a superstar.
So here's another one. The Sacramento Kings offered up Harrison Barnes, Buddy Hield, Marvin Bagley III, and draft compensation to the Sixers, but that was for they were talking about potentially Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons, and that was turned down as well. And that's because Philly also wanted De'Aaron Fox included in the deal. And of course, no one's going to touch Fox. You know, Sack sees that as, money, the future. He's non-negotiable. Now, for me, I think it was smart for the Sixers to say no to that because you're now including Tobias, your 2 top players next to Joel Embiid.
But Tobias has not performed either for all that money he get. Look how much money he go back and look at his contract.
He hasn't performed to our expectations, but no one ever does. But Tobias Harris is still a good double-double. He is still a good role player. He can still play behind and complement Embiid. He can still play on the side and complement Ben Simmons when he plays. I don't blame them for walking away from that because, you use the point of, are you really giving up these two players for that guy? Are you really giving up Harris and Simmons for Buddy Hield and some of those other players who haven't really played this game greatly? You know what I mean? When you think about what Harris has done, when you think about what Simmons and Harris can do together on the court, Harrison Barnes hasn't been great since his Golden State run. Okay.
Man, I forgot Harrison was even in the league.
Buddy Hield had what? He has good games. Not consistent, but he has good games. Bagley the third. Bagley who? In your words?
Marvin Bagley Jr.
Marvin Bagley the third.
I haven't even heard him.
That's what I'm saying.
Since he first came in the league, he was did good for the first 5 games, and that was it.
Mm-hmm. And Kilo brought this up on our show last week. He said, but who's going to be in the draft class worth anyone saying, yes, I'll take your top draft picks, knowing that Philly may not even be in the top 10 because they're going to have a playoff berth, which pushes you down in draft order automatically. So the fact that these teams are just offering up, I guess we could say no-namers, right? No-namers for these two all-stars or former all-stars, I think you do have to come correct with the 76ers, but teams have to be careful not to draft away their entire future on a player who refuses to show up for work, on a player that refuses to come to practice, on a player who still has not developed a jump shot to help his team in that scoring category. So the Sixers have a lot to do. A couple other quick rumors. They're even saying Ben Simmons is willing to sit the whole year if he's not traded by the deadline, which could be detrimental to the 76ers franchise. The Brooklyn Nets and Paul Millsap, they parted ways. Is there still room for Paul Millsap in the NBA?
Yeah, he's a good, solid veteran.
Mm-hmm.
It's just, I'm telling you, man, it's tough to be over there in Brooklyn because
Mm-hmm.
you ain't getting no shots.
Mm-mm.
It's not enough shots.
Mm-mm. Millsap in Brooklyn have parted ways after he's averaged only 3.4 points a game, 3.7 rebounds a game, and he's shooting about 37%. And he's only played twice since December 10th. So he's not even in the rotation. Not hurt. He's just not playing.
But that's every big man that goes over there, that's what happens.
Yeah.
Whether it's
Yeah.
Jordan,
Yeah.
Blake, and now Millsap.
Yeah.
And Aldridge was in the same. All 4 big men that came over, veterans,
Yep.
are in the same position where like you're playing and then you just don't play no more.
So who would you like to see Millsap? Where would you like to see him land? Do you see him as a contending team? Can he even be helpful at this point in his career?
I think Millsap is a good off the bench player.
Okay.
He just has to find the right team where he can fit in a rotation.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
and I think you hit the hammer on the nail, bro. Is when you go to stacked rosters, what do you expect?
like you're not gonna get a lot of playing time.
What do you expect joining the Lakers, joining Brooklyn, joining Golden State? What do you expect? We might as well say Milwaukee. What do you expect?
But the thing is, when you out there, you got to perform. But also, they can't perform because they need a lot more to get going than they used to need to get going. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like you ain't talking about the 2014 Millsap. Because 2014 Millsap be getting 32 minutes a game.
Yeah, with a double-double.
With a double-double every night.
Every night. But again, Father Time is undefeated. So,
and that's the problem. Like a lot of these players are thinking they're going to go get these big minutes and they're going to still be in the heavy rotation. When you can't, when you got young players on the roster as well that they're trying to build up to get it, take over when you gone. Because what's going to happen when, like right now, Millsap is not the player he was back then.
Not at all.
Claxton is the one who they building up to be their next big man.
Right. You know, and I think the other thing to remember too is that, you know, when you sign up to go to these teams, Tone, when you sign up to go to these teams, you don't really see. Are we on TV? Because it's not displaying on Facebook or YouTube Live. Okay, it appears to be back now. Okay, the Boston Celtics are making Al Horford available, Josh Richardson available, and Dennis Schroeder available in trades. Should anybody entertain any of those three? Remember, Dennis Schroeder is the goofball that walked away from $84 million because he wanted the max contract.
Well, he thought he was a max contract. Clearly, he wasn't a max contract because look where he at now. Now
Mhm.
you sitting at home thinking every night I'm getting paid $5 million compared to what was it, a 4 year, 84 million?
I think it was 4 year, 84 million, 86 million, something like that. Yeah.
You're losing $17 million a season right now because you wanted to be arrogant.
Yeah. Yeah.
And think, where would the Lakers be right now if we have Schroeder instead of?
Oh, they'd be much worse.
You think so?
Yeah. Schroeder, Dennis Schroeder is not,
He's not a turnover king though.
but he's not Russell Westbrook on his best day.
Russell Westbrook ain't Russell Westbrook on his best day right now. So I mean, what are you saying?
I'll still take him over Dennis Schroeder
Right now?
Any day. Any day. Absolutely. Dennis Schroeder cannot be my starting point
Even
guard.
though he be having triple doubles with 10 turnovers?
Dennis Schroeder cannot be my starting point guard. He cannot. He cannot. So Boston is hoping to pursue another veteran big man. So it'll be interesting to see where Horford goes. But Dennis Schroeder, where do you see a place for Dennis Schroeder? Should someone even entertain that trade?
You said
Dennis Schroeder, where do you see Dennis Schroeder landing? Is there any team out there that could use his talent? And again, Dennis Schroeder is only on a 1 year contract. So wherever he goes, the team is renting him because you're either hoping he's going to re-sign a long-term deal, especially if you're weak at that point guard spot, or Dennis Schroeder is probably still looking for his payday since he missed out on it.
if I'm right now, if I'm the Bucks,
Come on.
because you
Come
got to
on.
think
No.
we have no solid backup point guard.
George Hill.
George Hill, he just ain't doing it.
I think a lot of that is coaching, bro.
You think so? You think that's Bud?
Man, what we saw the energy and the camaraderie when we were at the game with how him and coach were communicating. Man, I think it's coaching. George Hill to me is an underrated backup point guard. To me.
And I think Jordan Norris should be getting more minutes. I'd be like, dude, some games he starts and then you come back. He don't play for 3 games.
I'm not sure what Ojale is. I'm not sure what Bud is doing because Ojale doesn't play. You know, Wes Matthews, he'll play 17, then he'll play none. So it's hard to understand what Bud's got
I don't
going
know what's
on
Bud
right
doing
now.
over there, but he's confusing me and it's making me think like some players ain't who they used to be.
So, no, I like George Hill. I want George Hill to stay and finish the season with us because I believe, like I said, we got a championship run in us. I think he deserves to get one. You know, he's loyal. And he's a good backup to Drew Holiday.
I like George though.
He's a great backup to Holiday.
He just don't shoot as good as he used to.
Yeah,
He's not consistent with his shooting, and that's what's throwing me off with George Hill. Like, we need a more consistent backup shooter. Like, I wish we would have picked up Patty
Mills.
Yeah.
I mean, it would have been fine, I guess, but Dennis Schroeder is not the answer for our backup.
No,
point
I don't.
guard.
I was just kidding around. I don't know where Dennis is going.
Right. Because not only did he lose his starting spot, isn't he coming off the bench over there?
Yeah, he is.
You lost your starting spot and your $84 million. So the idea of him getting this big payday and that people are going to be lining up to trade for him is, I believe, is a myth.
He went from 32 minutes to about 16, 17 minutes a game.
Absolutely.
On a good night.
Absolutely. The New York Knicks, they want Jalen Brunson from the Dallas Mavericks. They want Jalen Brunson and the New York Knicks.
Jalen Brunson?
Yeah, they want him.
He's a stud, man.
They want him.
He's another one of those. He's another one of those itty bitty players.
Itty bitty point guards.
Itty bitty point guards.
Itty bitty player. Yeah,
he's a stud. He's a stud out there.
Now, and here's why this is coming up in the trade rumors. It's because a lot of times Brunson, he appears invaluable, unless he's invaluable, especially with Luka going down. But when Luka plays, you almost forget he's on the team. He doesn't get as much clock. Obviously, he won't. The attention's not there. The scoring's not there. The ball management's not there because it's really Luka's team, and the roles they play are mostly the same. So I would like to see him go over there. The Knicks have a special recipe for the future. If Knicks fans could be patient, Tone,
I'm tired of being patient.
the Knicks' future could look really
Y'all
promising.
had a good season last year.
If you bring in Zion, RJ Barrett is having a good year. It's like he's found his step after a couple years. You can bring in Brunson and some other young talent, and you can load that roster.
How they gonna get Zion?
Zion will. I think he only has a year or two left on his contract. They'll find a way to trade him. I think one of the things we know about the NBA, they kind of want to have that Duke reunion I keep hearing about. One of the things that we know about the NBA, if a player wants to go somewhere, they'll go. Ask James Harden.
But they got bird rights, though, don't they?
No, because he's still on a rookie contract. They may have it, but it doesn't mean he has to take it. He could literally,
if he want to make the most money,
if he wants to make the most money, he has to stay with New Orleans. But that's just on paper. That just means they can offer him a longer deal. He could easily say, nope, I want to go to New York
on a 2-year deal.
On a 2-year deal. But again, the key is he's an unrestricted free agent. So whatever is presented to him, the Pelicans can match. So if the Knicks want to say, well, you know what, we're going to give Zion a 2-year, $100 million deal just for fun. Don't see it ever happening. The Pelicans can say, nope, he's unrestricted free agent. We're going to match that. You're staying right here. If the NBA has set sort of a tone that it's a players' league, right? If a player wants out of your team, your best bet is to get something for them while you can. We all remember what happened with LeBron in Cleveland, right? LeBron left them hanging and they were a lottery team till he went back.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Kevin Durant did the same thing to OKC. Left them hanging, and that franchise hasn't been the same since he left. James Harden. At least Houston were able to get some draft picks out of that deal because if Zion, who becomes an unrestricted free agent in the next year or two,
next summer,
if he becomes
this summer coming up,
but 2023, when he becomes an unrestricted free agent, they can match any offer presented. So if you're coming for Zion, Knicks, to build this fantasy Duke roster, you better start high because I don't see the Pelicans just letting him walk away for nothing. But then again, that's the same franchise that let Anthony Davis walk away. It's the same franchise that let Chris Paul walk away. So what makes them think they're going to get this right? But more importantly, Keith, we don't know if Zion's going to come back to be Zion.
That's the thing I'm worried about. Like, he's missed more than he's actually played
in
his whole NBA career.
Right.
Is he going to come back healthy? Who knows?
Time will tell. NBA All-Star voting is over, and the league will soon release its starting lineup and reserve rosters. So obviously we know that the top 10 is a popularity contest. And as of yesterday, LeBron James was in the lead voting. The Joker was in the lead. Andrew Wiggins, Steph Curry, and Jamal Murray for the Western Conference. Those are the top 5 players over there that will likely be the starters. Now, I haven't checked numbers today, but voting is over. And then over in the Eastern Conference, Kevin Durant, who likely won't play because he's out. You have Giannis, Joel Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, and Trae Young. Those will likely be the starting lineup. Now, you and I are going to have ourselves a little all-star draft with those 10 players, okay? Those 10 players, we're going to have an all-star draft for starters. Now, what we're each going to do, Tony, you got a coin over there, bro? Yeah. We're going to have ourselves a little draft to pick our starters, right? We'll pick our starters, and then we'll pick who we believe should be at least 2 reserves. Anybody we want who should make who we believe should make the All-Star team. So we got a nickel here, America. Right? We got a nickel, not quite a quarter.
Why you can't just say a coin, man? Oh, you gotta bring it up, a nickel. Just flip the dang.
Listen, man, I'm not counting your pennies, bro. All right.
All right, here we go.
Call it in the air, brother.
Heads.
Heads it is.
That's why you tried to cheat. I saw that. Boy, I tell you about it. Boy,
I always say somebody cheating on the coin flip.
he did it right in front of me, though, Tone. He couldn't even hide it. He ain't even good at it. I'm trying to hurry up and flip it over in his hand, and then it still ended up being heads.
I resent that, man.
Man, you are a horrible cheater.
I
man.
resent that, man. I didn't try to cheat America. It was funny, though. So, who are you picking first out of the top 10 vote getters?
So are we including injury players or
Nope,
no?
you got to pick the top 10. You can, assuming they would play. So, over in the Western Conference, you have LeBron, Joker, Wiggins, Steph Curry, and Morant. Over in the Eastern Conference, you have KD, you have Giannis, you have Joel Embiid, you have DeRozan, and you have Trae Young. So with your first pick
Of the Western Conference, I am going with LeBron James.
so Team Kesey is going with LeBron with his first pick. Okay. With my first pick in the draft, I'm going with the Greek Freak, the best player in the NBA right now, is what I believe you called him. And I'm going to agree with you. I'm going with the Greek Freak.
I know he's the best player in the NBA.
I'm going with the Greek Freak. All right. Your next pick.
I am going to go with Steph Curry.
Dang. Steph Curry. All right. Steph Curry is picked second. I'm going to go with Kevin Durant with my second pick.
But he's not playing though.
Yeah, but we're just doing it assuming that he was playing. You know, they're going to put him on the roster until otherwise mentioned. Your third pick.
My third pick. I am going to go with I'm going to go with the Joker.
The Joker. The Joker. All right. With my third pick, I am going with the stud, the future of the NBA.
Draymond.
Ja Morant. I'm going with Morant. You know, I ain't picking Wall to do nothing. I'm going with Morant.
That's a good pick.
Yes, sir.
And if you're going to go with Ja, then I got to go with Devin Booker.
Devin Booker's not a starter, so you can't go with him. You got to
He's
go.
not in the top five?
He is not. Top five, you got LeBron, Joker, Wiggins, Curry, Morant, Durant, Giannis, Embiid, DeMar DeRozan, and Trae Young. Because remember, you got to it's three in the front court, two in the back court.
Well, where are you?
Right here, brother.
Let me see this.
Right there, man.
Clearly, mine is off.
You good. So you got LeBron, Steph, and Joker. I have Greek, Kevin Durant, and Morant. So you got either Wiggins, you got
I'm gonna go with Luca.
Luka's not in the top 10 either, bro.
In the top 10.
He's not, bro. The guards are. So remember, your front court are the top three. We're doing the starters. Your front court are the top three in the voting and the top two in the voting in the back court for East and West.
You said it's the top three?
The top three in the front court and the top two in the back court for East and West. Those are going to be the starters based on voting as of yesterday. You about to get Family Feuded.
Well, then I'm gonna have to go with DeRozan then.
DeRozan.
Because I already got Steph.
DeRozan, that's a good pickup. And for me, I am going to have to go with Embiid. I need somebody crashing my boards. Embiid. So now you have either Wiggins or Trae Young.
I'm going with Wiggins.
You're going with Wiggins. and I'm going with Trae Young. So based on our starters, our draft, Team Kesey is LeBron James, Steph Curry, the Joker, DeMar DeRozan, and Andrew Wiggins. Over on Team Dre, based on the starters, I have the Greek Freak, Kevin Durant, John Morant, Embiid, and Trae Young.
Oh, y'all gonna lose.
I don't.
Y'all gonna lose.
You seem a little cocky there. Who gonna hold Greek? Who gonna hold Giannis?
LeBron.
Okay, you'll try. Who gonna hold KD from your roster?
From my roster?
Who gonna hold KD from your roster? Who gonna hold KD from your team? And who gonna hold Morant? Well, Morant and Steph, that'd be a nice little matchup. Or Morant and DeRozan would be a matchup. Who gonna hold Embiid from your roster? Your roster is smaller than the Miami Heat.
Joker?
Okay, that's a matchup right there. But your roster's pretty small.
And look, I'll throw Joker on Embiid,
Mm-hmm.
LeBron on Greek. I'm gonna throw Wiggins on KD
Mm-hmm.
and DeRozan on Ja.
Mm-hmm. What two players for you, whether it doesn't have to be the votes, what two players have to make the All-Star reserves for you?
That has to
That have to be on the team for you. If you got to pick, what two NBA players deserve a reserve role? I got my two already. I'm happy to go.
It's gonna have to be Tatum
Mm.
and it has to be it's gotta be Luka. No, it gotta be Tatum and Luka.
It has to be Holiday.
But Holiday ain't even in the voting.
He's not. So remember, the voting only matters for the top 10. The coaches pick the reserves. Okay. So you might have 5 million votes, like Kyrie Irving has almost 1 million votes. Doesn't mean he's going to make the reserve team. The voting for the fans only picks the starting lineup. The coaches pick the reserves. So for me, Drew Holiday has to be an all-star reserve. He has to be. And Donovan Mitchell. They have to be reserves. Those are my two.
So no James Harden?
For what? You were playing next to freaking KD. What have you done to really earn an all-star selection besides play mediocre based on what you normally play?
No Devin Booker?
I just picked my two. My two reserves have to be Holiday because you got to stick with the home team. And Holiday has been an all-star for years, passed up. Last year, he should have been an all-star.
I don't think Holiday has had a season, an all-star season.
Well, he has until he got hurt.
But hey, that's the part of the game, though, ain't it?
Kyrie Irving's getting votes, and he's played 4 games.
But Kyrie wasn't hurt.
That's what I'm saying.
Kyrie is out because mental sanity.
Yeah. I
You know what I mean? He got a lot of mental issues going on, so
I want Holiday to be an all-star. He's been an all-star. He's been overlooked by the NBA for years. And Donovan Mitchell is a baller, man. Donovan Mitchell is a baller. In fact, if he wasn't with Utah, he probably have even more star power than he does right now.
You think so?
I think so.
Because you put him on any other roster, he don't get the shots he get because
how so?
He can put up as many shots as he wants because he has a big man that doesn't need the ball.
That's true.
True. You get that?
That's true.
Like he doesn't need the ball. Mike Conley doesn't want the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's not looking to score no more. Mike Conley just want to win.
Mm-hmm.
He got a lot of players around him that just want to win, and he got the green light.
Mm-hmm.
He go to any other roster, he gonna have to cut them shots down by like 25 to 30%, at least, in order for him to be on another team.
Yeah. So, who are your two reserves? Who are your two reserves? Two that must make the team for you.
I gave him to you already.
Who are Luka and
Tatum?
Luka and Tatum. So you're picking them over Devin Booker. Those two stand out to you more than anybody.
I'm gonna say Tatum and Booker to me.
Okay. All right. So if you're LeBron and Steph, or if you're LeBron has the most votes in the Western Conference as of yesterday. So he'll be the captain, and KD will be the captain of the Eastern Conference. If you're LeBron, who are you picking with your first pick? Who does LeBron pick first?
If you're LeBron, who's the other team captain?
Kevin Durant. It's the person with the most votes in the East, and it's the person with the most votes in the West. So in the Western Conference, based on yesterday, it was LeBron, and as of this morning or last night, it was Kevin Durant. So
if I'm LeBron, I'm going with Giannis.
All day.
And if you don't, then you're a fool.
All day. And LeBron, if you pick Giannis first, don't get comfortable. Don't start inviting him to your boat trips in the summer. Don't start inviting him to your gym to work out.
You've been inviting them to that, but Giannis don't go to
That's
that
all
stuff.
I'm saying, but it's different when you playing alongside of him now.
Giannis is not that type of player.
I know he isn't.
Giannis is his own in his own lane. And he's been saying that since day one. That's why he wouldn't even work out with nobody outside of Kobe Bryant. You can't even, no other NBA player can tell you about their workouts besides Kobe Bryant. And Kobe, let the great Kobe rest in peace. He ain't even here no more.
Right. So I'm with you on that. If I'm LeBron,
but again, LeBron is a
shout out. I'm just laughing at Zeke. Shout out to Zeke.
He's becoming a Steph Curry fan.
I
think he might pick Curry first.
Our big brother says my bag shouldn't be on the table. That's what I say to you. And he agrees that you want some bull. You talking trash that your team can beat my team. But anyway, I agree. You definitely got to pick up Giannis first. You definitely got to pick up Giannis
I'm
first.
not worried about his comments. He ain't here.
If I'm KD, if I'm picking up Giannis, if Giannis goes first, I think KD's going to pick up Steph Curry. I think Steph and Giannis are your number 1 and number 2 draft picks. Easy.
I don't know.
You don't know.
Because a lot of players like Ja. Dude, Ja's
balling, but he's not better than Steph or Giannis. Let's be honest.
I'm going to tell you like this.
He's not better than either of them.
Just the last game we went to and watching Ja,
I'm
a believer.
I'm a believer
too. This dude jumped so he was doing floaters, y'all.
He had a great game against the Bucks. They still got spanked, but it was a great game. Shout out to Laughing Tacos. Shout out to Laughing Tacos. Finally had some. Shout out to Laughing Tacos.
Shout out to the Laughing Tacos again. Give them a round of applause, man.
Shout out to the Laughing Tacos.
I just got y'all another believer. So in that game, I want my tacos on the house.
Shout out to the Laughing Tacos. But I think you're right. I think KD will go. Steph or Giannis will be first. Morant, not too far after. Not too far after.
Morant, he's becoming a whole nother animal.
I told you, man. He's the future.
I didn't even believe he was that good until I seen him in person.
If he can stay healthy, he is the future.
Only thing he scares me is he reminds me of Derrick Rose so much, man.
Because he's so explosive?
Dude, he is so explosive at that size. Like, it's hard to even guard him because he's so explosive.
Yeah.
Even when he do his floaters, he jumped like 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah, literally. So he's a great player. I'm glad, and I said this on one of our other podcasts, I'm glad that the league is balancing again. I'm glad. The super team era appears to be over in terms of megastars joining together. And I'm glad about that. Knock on something. Hopefully it stays that way. But I'm glad to see that the NBA is developing younger stars. Trae Young, Devin Booker, Morant, Lonzo Ball, LaMelo Ball. LaMelo Ball should also make the All-Star team. I don't know if he will, but he should. What? If you take LaMelo away from Charlotte, what do you have?
But look at the guards. Go to the guards right now. And you name 5 guards that he's better than.
Yeah, that's a good
point. On both sides. Just go to the first 5 and tell me if he's better than any of those 5.
He's not better than, we know he's not better than Steph. He's not better than Ja. He's not better than Luka. He's not better than Clay. But Clay shouldn't be there just on the simple fact he hasn't even played a week. So Clay shouldn't even have votes, let alone be an all-star. Clay should not be an all-star this year. Westbrook should not be an all-star this year. Chris Paul should be an all-star this year. So let's do this. Let's call out names, and then we'll wrap it up, and you'll say all-star or pass or
I'm
snub.
trying to figure out how Derrick Rose is still in the top 8. He ain't played in like 2 months.
Right.
now.
So remember, fan vote. So all-star or snub or not all-star, either one. We won't do snubs yet because we don't know who they are. Luka, all-star or pass?
All-star.
Agreed. All-star. Klay Thompson, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Pass. Agreed. Devin Booker, all-star or pass?
He's all-star.
All-star all day, every day. Russ Westbrook, all-star or pass?
He's an all-star.
He's a pass. A hard pass.
No, because he's still an all-star.
A hard pass.
He's still an all-star.
Hard pass.
That's because you don't like him, man.
Chris Paul, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Wait. So Westbrook gets in it. Chris Paul does not, and their number one best record in the NBA, and mostly because of Chris Paul, and he is not an all-star.
I get that.
But Westbrook is Mr. Quadruple double with 10 turnovers.
It's off of fans, right?
It's off of fans, but remember,
so you can't knock me for who I think is an all-star and who you think is an all-star. Here you go.
I just did it.
You can't do that.
And I did it.
See,
Donovan
what's wrong
Mitchell.
with America. They think they own everybody else's opinion.
Donovan Mitchell, all-star or pass?
All-star.
All-star all day. Dame Lillard, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Pass. Hard pass. Anthony.
That's not a hard pass.
It's a hard pass, bro. Come on.
Only reason,
bro. They are not good.
He's been hurt. That's why he haven't been playing.
They weren't good when he wasn't hurt.
That doesn't make you not an all-star. Look how many years it was all-stars that really wasn't on good teams.
I get it, and I think that's also what's wrong with basketball. When we're giving out awards like All-Stars and MVPs and Defensive Player of the Years, your team's standing and record should go into that. I'm sorry. Anthony Edwards, all-star or pass? Minnesota Timberwolves.
Pass.
I'm gonna give him a pass too, but he's balling. He's exciting to watch.
He's nice to watch, but he's not an all-star yet.
Zach LaVine, all-star or pass?
That's a tough one. I'm in between. All-star. Okay. He deserves all-star.
All right. James Harden, all-star or pass?
He's an all-star.
He's an all-star. I'll give it to you. LaMelo Ball, all-star or pass?
I'm going to have to pass on that.
I'm going to have to pass on that too. Kyrie, all-star or pass?
I can't even judge him because he ain't played.
He's a pass. Fred VanVleet, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Pass. Derrick Rose, all-star or pass?
You know I'm going to say all-star, man.
I'm passing on Derrick Rose. I'm passing on Derrick Rose.
Listen, they just showed the highlights the other day from when he dunked on Dragic.
Yeah.
Man.
That's cool. That's cool.
You cannot forget those glory years of Derrick Rose. That's what makes him still an all-star.
He's not an all-star this season, though. Darius Garland.
Actually, he played pretty good up until he got hurt.
He's not an all-star, Keith. Come on, bro.
Man, I'm going to punch you in the eye, man. You keep on knocking my votes, man.
Darius Garland, all-star or pass?
Darius who?
Cleveland Cavaliers, all-star or pass?
Pass, man. Come on.
Agreed. Jaylen Brown, Boston Celtics, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Hard pass. LaMarcus Aldridge, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Pass as well. Miles Bridges from Charlotte, all-star or pass?
He's an all-star.
He's an all-star. I would agree. Bam Adebayo, all-star or pass? He didn't play enough. He's a pass. Siakam from Toronto, all-star or pass?
All-star.
He didn't play enough for me, but he would be if he played a little more.
If he played more, you would say, I would say, but pass because he didn't play enough.
Jarrett Allen, Cleveland Cavaliers, all-star or pass?
Pass, man.
Pass.
I don't even like Jarrett.
Pass.
Like
Jimmy Buckets, all-star or pass?
Pass. Jimmy getting a pass. He ain't played enough.
He gets a pass as well. Jason Tatum, all-star or pass?
All-star.
All-star all day long. DeAndre Ayton from the Phoenix Suns, all-star or pass?
No, he hasn't played a lot either. Man.
He hasn't played a lot, but there's not a lot of bigs out there. And if you're gonna
I gotta go with Ayton. Ayton is an all-star.
Ayton's an all-star. Rudy Gobert, all-star or pass?
Pass.
All-star. He's the front runner for Defensive Player of the Year. You gotta have him on the team. Cat Anthony Towns. Karl Anthony Towns, Minnesota, all-star or pass?
He's all-star.
He's an all-star in the land of bigs. Carmelo Anthony, all-star or pass?
Melo's all-star to me, man.
Melo is a hard pass, bro. That's like a hard foul, man. What?
Really?
Dude, no.
Why?
No. Listen, we're going over the list of all the fans have voted. Melo, to me, is not an all-star. Again, it reflects his team. It reflects his team. The all-star game would be fine without him and Westbrook.
That's another thing you got to look at, too. Like, when you're looking at the all-stars, like, how many players from each team actually can make it? Because, like you said, in Phoenix, all three of them can't make it.
No. Well, they
Chris
might.
Paul, Chris
They
Paul,
might.
It's hard.
Draymond,
But
Clay,
that was
KD, and Steph all made it 1 year.
1 year.
All made
How
it.
often does that happen?
Not often, but that super team shouldn't have been what it was anyway. Let's finish up here. Draymond Green, all-star or pass?
Pass.
Up until he got hurt, Dre was an all-star because he was my pick for defensive player of the year.
And
He was
and
all-star in my book. Anthony Davis, all-star or pass?
pass.
Hard pass. Paul George, all-star or pass?
Pass. He hasn't played enough this year either.
He has not played enough either. So we can't wait to see how LeBron and KD draft their starting lineup. But we also can't wait to talk about our all-star snubs on an episode once they release it. So this has been another entertaining episode of the 94 Feet Podcast. I'd like to thank my brother Keith.
Thank you, good people.
Yeah. Welcome back. Shout out to our brother Zeke. We look forward to having him back in a week or two. Get better soon.
See you in 10.
Yo, listen to us on Apple Podcasts, Spreakers,
iTunes,
Spotify,
Amazon.
Did we say Spreakers already?
Yeah.
Spreakers,
Or-
Amazon.
Or listen to us on any of your favorite podcast platforms.
Favorite platforms, baby. Listen, follow us on social media. Get active with us on social. Instagram, IG. IG is Instagram. Twitter, Facebook, at 94 Feet Podcast. That's 94 FT Podcast. Agree with us?
Probably not.
94 Feet Nation, baby.